Good evening, everyone. How are you all? Great. So, people, yeah, I'm doing great as well. Thank you for asking. So, people, there are a lot of people left to join the class. Okay, so why don't we wait for a couple of minutes? Okay, and then we'll start the class so that nobody misses out. Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I guess everybody is here now. There are still people left to join the class, but we have waited long enough. So we'll be starting the class now. Okay. Okay, please don't raise hand. Instead of raising hand, can you guys please put it down in the chat so that I can actually understand what you're trying to communicate? Yeah, great. Okay. So people, before starting up, can you guys please confirm in the chat that you can see my screen and my voice is clearly audible to you? Yeah. Great. Okay. So just a heads up for everybody. In case you are not able to hear me, in case in future, if it happens for you that you're not able to hear the trainer or that you are not able to uh, view the screen and the trainer that actually shared it. So the quick fix for that one is that you leave the session and you join back once again. Okay. And it actually solves the problem 99% of the time. And that's the quickest and the easiest way you can fix the problem. Okay. Understood by everyone? Yeah. Okay. So once again, I want everybody to please respond in chat, every single one of you, that my voice is clearly audible and that you can see my screen as well. Yeah. Okay, great, great, great. So shall we begin? Everybody ready? I hope everybody has a notebook with them, notebook and a pen with them, and that you are, and also that you are joining this session using a desktop or a laptop device, a computer. Yes, those who are not using a computer and using a mobile phone, please know that it is highly recommended that you use a computer device. Okay, not a mobile device, because that actually decreases the experience quality. Okay, so it is always recommended that you join the session using a laptop or a computer device. Okay, MacBook or Windows PC, whatever it is, whatever you have. Not audible. Okay. Understood, everyone? Is everybody using a laptop or a desktop, whatever, a computer device? Great, great. And that you guys also have a notebook and a pen with you, right? Great. Okay. So all set to begin? Okay. So before starting up, the very first thing, my introduction. People, my name is Farhad Khan, and I am Chief Technology Officer at DataTrain. And I'll be helping you guys in understanding the programming concepts. So I'll be taking few sessions with you guys of programming foundations, and I'll help you guys in understanding and building a foundation so that you guys can code good later on in the future. Okay, when you guys actually start up with Python. Okay, sounds good. I'm not getting responses in chat. Can you guys hear me? Okay, my voice is slow. Okay, my voice is not loud enough. Is my voice not loud enough? Can you guys please confirm in chat? And okay, one more thing. Am I speaking too fast? Okay, so it's a mixed response, so I'll be speaking a little low. Okay, I'll be pacing myself down. Okay, okay. So I'll speak slow. I'll speak slow. I think that's something. Okay, so I know I believe everybody now knows me. My name is Farhad Khan. I am Chief Technology Officer at DataTrain, and what I'll be doing is I'll be taking few sessions with you guys, and I'll be helping you out with programming foundations so that you can program and code good programs later on. Okay, when you will actually get into Python and then statistics, SQL, and machine learning and all. Okay, so I'll be helping you out, helping you all out in getting in building up a good foundation for yourself. Okay. Yeah, today we'll be using the chat option of the Zoom webinar itself. Okay, so you can put down your queries over here. You can interact with me over here only. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so one request from all of you is that I want every single person in this class to be super active. Whenever I ask you to do anything, whenever I ask you something, I want everybody to respond. Okay, this helps me in understanding that you are getting me, right? You are understanding everything that I'm telling you, as well as it also helps me understanding that we are connected because we are connected using internet technology, right? So it can have a little bit of failure at my end or maybe at your end, anybody's end. Okay, so it helps me in understanding that we are connected. Okay, so I'll be continuously asking you to asking you guys to put down something in the chat, and I expect you to put down that. Okay, we can do that, right? Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, Excel is over. Excel is over. Rohit sir was taking Excel, and Excel is over. Today we are starting a new topic, and that module is called Programming Foundation. This is the new topic that we are going to take today. Yeah, you can search me over LinkedIn with my name and data train in front of it. You'll get me. I'm the only one over here. Okay, just type my name and data train in front of it. You'll get me. Okay, on LinkedIn. Yeah. Yeah, you can put there, put your, yeah, you can connect me over there. Okay, people. So we'll be starting with programming foundation. So before getting into programming and all, let's just understand how computers actually operate, right? Shall we start from there, from the very starting point? How computers actually came into the picture? What do they do? How do they interact? How do they understand what we say? And how do they actually do what we're trying to tell them? Yeah. So let's just understand all these things and slowly we'll build up and we'll move to the programming foundation. We will move to the towards programming. Okay. Shall we? Okay, more slow. I'm still going faster. Okay. Okay, whenever I go faster, just put it down in the chat. I'll check up my pace. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So let's just understand few things. Just give me a second. Okay. So starting with programming foundation. So before starting with programming foundation, we know that programming is used by or for computers, right? This is what we are talking. This is the thing that we are going to study now. Okay, so computers. So what are computers? Computers are electronic devices, yes, which can help us in computing or processing things which are harder for us, right? They simplify our work in terms of computations. Okay, so your calculator is also a form of computer. Your mobile phones are also a form of a computer. Your laptop, your desktop, your smartwatches are also in some way some a form of computer. Okay, so all these things, these are all in some way you can say they are helping you out in computing something, so they can be called of to some level different types of different level of computers. Okay, so we can call all these devices computers, and one thing is that these computers are actually all of them are electronic devices. Yes or no? So initially, when these computers were created, we wanted to interact with them. Okay, initially, when these computers, the idea of computers came into the world, when the computers were going to be created, it was necessary for us humans to interact with them, right? Because then only we'll be able to tell them what they need to compute, what they need to do. Yes or no? Yes or no, people? Okay, so computer scientists, these were the people who did all these things, right? Computer scientists. Okay, so these are the ones. Okay, so what did they do? They said, okay, these computer devices, they are going to be electronic devices, right? Yes or no? So these computers are going to be what? They are all going to be electronic devices. And all these electronic devices They don't understand us, right? They don't understand English, they don't understand Spanish, Italian, or maybe Japanese, or Hindi, or Urdu, or whatever languages that are there that we humans use, right? My voice is echoing. Okay, can you guys please confirm that? Is my voice echoing for anybody else also? Okay, it's echoing. Just give me a second, okay? Just give me a second. Let me make arrangements. Okay, people. Is it better now? Is it echoing? Is it, or is it still echoing that much? I think it must be better. Okay. So computers are electronic devices, and these electronic devices, people, they don't understand the languages that we use, right? They don't understand English, they don't understand Japanese, Spanish, Italian, German, Hindi, Urdu, or whatever languages that are there, right? That we humans use. These electronic devices, they don't understand these devices, right? Yes or no? So how do we communicate with them? So this was the very first problem that these computer scientists came across. Okay, so they were not able. They were actually trying to figure out how we can interact with them. So they figured out that all of these electronic devices, what do? They use electricity to operate, right? Yes or no? They use this electricity to operate. Okay, so they said, okay, can we somehow use this electricity in order to communicate with these devices? So what did they do? They just found out that they just looked into it, and they figured out that these, whenever there is electricity, there are two components of electricity that are always going to be there. The first one is voltage, and the second one is electric current, right? Okay, so this voltage thing is very easy to control, right? For us humans, we can very easily control this voltage. Current is not that easily controllable, but this voltage is very easily and very cheap to control. Okay, so what did they do? The computer scientists decided, okay, let's just use this voltage and try to communicate with these devices. Okay, so what did they do? They sometimes send high voltage, and sometimes they sent low voltage, then sometimes high, then sometimes low, and then sometimes high, and like this they formed a signal. Okay, so this is what was done by computer scientists. Okay, so they formed a single signal by giving out high, sometimes high voltages and sometimes low voltages, high voltage, low voltage, high, 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 low, 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 something like this. And they formed a signal, and they gave out this signal to an electronic device or computer device. Okay, and that computer device actually responded to this. Got it? Understood? So that's how these computer scientists came up with a technology which is using this voltage of electricity, and they formed a signal like this, and this signal was used to communicate with these devices. Okay, got it? How it all started? Yeah, but another thing is this voltage, high voltage or low voltage, this is understood by computers. But can I understand it? Can we understand? Can we humans understand electricity? Can we understand voltage? No, again, a problem. So what did they do? The computer scientists, they came up with another thing. And what did they do? They started representing this high voltage with 1 and this low voltage with 0. Okay. So this high voltage as 1 and this low voltage as 0. So this signal can also be now can be written as this high voltage will be 1s and these low voltages will be 0, like this, something like this. So a signal was formed something like now this is somewhat understood by us. I can understand ones and zeros, right? We humans can understand it because this is from the number system, right? And we understand number system. We use it daily in our day-to-day life. Yes. So this number system, which contains ones and zeros, only two numbers and all the uncombinations of this number system was called binary number system. And that's how we people started saying that computers only understand binary. They understand nothing but binary. But what actually is happening is that they are understanding electricity, this voltage thing, this signal. But we represent it as binary number systems because we humans understand binary numbers only. Understood? Yes or no? Is this much clear to everyone? Okay, so let's just take 1 minute, everyone. I want everybody to revise whatever we have discussed in your heads. And if you want, you can just note down the things. Okay, just note it down in your notebook so that you don't forget it later on. Okay, everybody just go ahead and let me know in the chat once you're done. Okay. Great. Shall we move forward now? Okay, so we have come to the part where binary number system came into existence. Okay, so now what is that there are computer signals, the signals that were sent or that were given, the instructions that were given to the computers were given in the form of binary numbers, something like this. Something like this. Okay, so these were the binary signals that were given to the computer, and based on these binary signals, the computers were able to operate, they were able to perform tasks. Okay, now again, this is something relatable to us, but again, not entirely understood by us, right? I cannot understand this binary. Nobody can understand this binary, right? It is still something not commonly used by us humans, right? Yes or no? So what came into the picture is that every single thing that we use in terms of languages, let's say the number system. So every number symbol that we use, like 1, 2, 3, or maybe till 9, starting from 0, or maybe the alphabets that we use. Okay, maybe it's smaller case A, B, C, D till Z, or uppercase A, B, C, D till Z, or maybe these special symbols that we use like comma, like full stop, like semicolon, or the brackets, or maybe the the asterisk symbol, or the hashtag symbol, or the dollar symbol, whatever symbols that you can see on your keyboard right now. Can you see a lot of symbols that are there on your keyboard? Can you guys see a lot of symbols that are put down on your keyboard? Yes. So all these symbols, whatever that you can see, all these symbols have their binary representations. Okay, they all have their binary representation. So what happened is that this binary number system is a number system, right? This binary number system is something that was understood by computers, right? Yes or no? And it has only two symbols in it, either 0 or 1. Yes or no? It has only two symbols in it. And the number system that we humans understand is called decimal number system. Okay, everybody. The number system that we humans understand, that we use every day. And this one has 10 symbols in it, which is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. These are the 10 symbols, and every other number is made using these 10 symbols only, right? Yes or no? So this is the number system understood by us, and this is the number system understood by machines, the computers, right? So what happens is that what happened is that these number system, like if I talk about the decimal number system, I have 0, 1, 2, 3 till 9, and then I have 10, 11, 12, 13 till 19, and then I'll start with 20, 21, 22 until 29, and like this I'll go on till infinity, right? Yes or no? So there are infinite numbers that I can make. Yes or no? Am I correct? Yes. So every single number that you see over here, every single number, or the combinations of these different symbols that we have used to make 10, 11, 12, or 22, or maybe 99, or maybe 1020, or maybe 5064, something like that. So we can make any amount of numbers. So whatever number that we are making, it has an equivalent in binary number system. Yes or no? It will have an equivalent in binary number system. Let's say for 0, we have 0 as binary. For 1, we have 1 as binary. For 2, we have, this is the binary for 2. And for 3, we have binary as this one. Okay, so there are binary equivalents of every number that you see over here till infinity. Yes, in binary number system, there is only 0 and 1, only two, these two, that's it. Okay, understood everyone? So every number that you see over here in decimal number system that we humans use has an equivalent in binary like this. Okay, till infinite. Every number system has an equivalent binary number. Okay. Is this understood by everyone? Is this much understood by everyone? And there are ways, there are mathematical formulas using which you can convert it, but we don't need it as a data scientist people. We don't need that. So we won't be going into that, but we just need to understand that every number has an equivalent binary for it. Okay, for 3, it's this double one. Okay, it's not 101. 101 is for 5. Okay, this is binary of 5. Is this much understood by everyone? Yes or no? Come on, everyone in chat. Those who are asking me to repeat, please pinpoint your questions so that I can repeat the specific part that you were not able to understand. Okay. Little bit. Okay, so the people who have any confusion, I only want those people to put it down in the chat. Those people who have any questions. Yeah, these are binary representations. We won't be going into how we got these binary representations because that's not the subject that we are exploring. That's part of computer science. Okay, so we won't be going into that. As a data scientist, we don't want to go into that deep. Okay, we just want to have an idea about it. Okay. So the idea is that we are trying to understand here is that every number, whether it is 0, 1, 2, 3, 9, 19, 22, 20, or whatever, till infinity, whatever number that we have in decimal number system. Okay, all of these numbers have a binary equivalent like this. Okay, all of them have a binary equivalent. Understood? Decimal number system understood by humans. This is understood by humans. We use it every single day in our lives. And this binary number system is understood by computers. Clear? Is this, I think this clears the air a little bit. There were a couple of people asking the questions. Okay, you don't need to find the binary equivalent. That's not part of our course. Okay, so we won't be going into that. Okay. If you are curious, you can just explore it out on the internet. And if you want, if you have any questions, you can put them down in the asked out section in your LMS, and I'll get those questions and I'll answer to that. Okay. You can explore it out over the internet. Okay. If you are curious enough. Okay. You can just go out on the internet and you can understand how these can be converted into each other. Understood? Is this clear to everyone? Is this much clear to everyone? Yeah, computers output is not in the form of binary because computers then convert it into something that we understand. Otherwise, it would be meaningless for us. Yeah. That's why they convert it into something that we can understand as humans. Okay, clear. So every number that we use in our day-to-day life has a binary equivalent, as well as all the symbols like this A, this B, this C, this D, or this bracket, or this hashtag, or this $sign, all these symbols. Okay, all these symbols also have a binary equivalent. Got it? Every single one of them. Okay, so what happens is that whatever that you give an instruction to the computer in English language, let's say, okay, so what will happen is that it will be then converted into binary. Yes or no? If I talk about some common sense, if I talk about take this thing logically, what will happen is that whatever I tell my computer, it will be converted into binary. And then that binary will be taken by that computer and understood and then executed. Yes or no? So that is how computers understand what we are trying to say. Got it? Is this understood by everyone? So whatever we say, whatever we do, maybe even if we click at something, that particular instruction is executed. Whenever you click on something, right? So you see an icon on your desktop of let's say a video file. Let's say there is a video file on your desktop and you want to play that, right? So you double click on that one, right? So there is a command. Okay, there is a command, a programming command, a command that is over there that is understood, that is already fed into your operating system, your computer system. Okay, so that command gets executed whenever you click on that. So what does that command say? That you run this file. Okay, that command tells the computer that you have to run this file, you have to execute this file. So computer, what does it do? It first takes out the command, and then that command is converted into binary, and then that binary is understood by the computer, and eventually, and like that, computer understand that you want to play that video file, and then it will open the specific software that is there in your computer and open that file using that software. Understood? So that is how computers understand what you're trying to say or what you're trying to do with them. That's how they take instructions. Is this clear to everyone? Yes? Okay. You can just note things down now and let me know in the chat once you're done. Okay, I'll control my speed a little bit more, okay? Sorry about that. Done, everyone? Yeah, please don't raise hand, people. Instead of raising hand, I would like you guys to please put it down in the chat. That helps me understand you better. Yeah, you'll get into practical once we start Python, okay? Okay. So let's move forward, people. Okay, I think. Okay. So now what happens is that in programming, okay, when it comes to programming, any programming like Python programming, C programming, Java programming, whatever programming that you're doing. Okay. So when it comes to programming, so programming is what? A programming language you know, we call it programming language. Why we call it a language? Because it is actually a language, just like English, just like Italian, just like Japanese, just like Hindi, right? So just like these languages that we humans use every day, programming languages are also languages. And these are the languages that are used to interact with computers. Okay, so what happened is that once these symbol representation of binary was created, every number, every alphabet, every symbol had an equivalent representation in binary. When these representations were created, after that, computer scientists did what? They used a language that was used by humans, which was English. Why did they choose English? Because English was widely used across the globe. Okay, almost every part of the world was familiar with English, right? So they chose English, and based using these English language words, using words from this English language, what did they do? They created programming languages. And these programming languages are the languages just like Python, just like Java. These are the programming languages that we use in today's world to interact with these devices, to interact with computers, to give them instructions what they need to do, how they need to do, and when they need to do. Understood the purpose of programming languages and how they came into the picture? Yes. So this is what the role of programming languages is. So programming language is a language that is very close to English language that we humans use every day. It is very close to that. We form instructions, step-by-step instructions. Okay, in programming languages, what do? We write step-by-step instructions which are going to be executed by the computer, which we want our computer to execute. Execute means we want our computer to do all these things. Okay. So a programming language is something that is very close to English language, and it has words that are understood by the computers. Okay. And the computers take these sentences or whatever that we have written using the programming language as a command, and they do whatever that is written in it. Okay. So can we say that a software, any software is actually a set of commands that a computer is obeying or performing? Yes or no? Any software, whatever that is, है ना? Any web application or maybe a mobile device or any software that is running on your computer, right? So these softwares are what? These are some written commands that based on the interaction that we do, tell the computer what to do and when to do and how to do. Yes or no? Okay, please note this down and let me know in the chat once you're done. Okay. Done. Okay, great. So let's just move forward a little bit. Yeah, let me move the screen. Okay. Okay, so now we have seen a couple of things, and these things are, let's just revise whatever we have seen till now in the class. The very first thing that we saw is that computers are electronic devices. They operate on electricity, and we wanted to interact with them. So these computer scientists guys, what they do, they came up with an idea, and that idea was, why don't we use electricity? Because these devices are running on electricity, right? So they came up with an idea that why don't we use this electricity to interact with them, right? So what did they do? They figured out that we can use voltages. Yes, they figured out that we can use voltages to interact with these devices. So how did they do that? They formed signals by sending high voltages and low voltages. They used high voltage and low voltage and tried to form a signal with that, right? And this, then they did what? They served the signal as a they gave this signal to the computer devices, and these computer devices actually responded to it. Yes. So that's how they came up with an idea how to interact with these devices. Now we humans, we were not able to understand this voltage thing, right? It was not easy, or it was actually impossible for us. It is today, right? It is impossible for us to understand electricity like that as a means of communication, right? The voltages as a means of communication. It is impossible, right? So what did they do? They tried to make a relevancy over there, and they represented the high voltage as 1 and low voltages as 0, right? So they another concept came into the picture, and that was the concept of binary number system, which has only two numbers in it, 0 and 1, and every other number is made using the combinations of the two, right? So binary number system came into the picture, and we started saying that these computer devices, they only understand binary. And now we know how and what is behind this statement is, right? Yes or no? Do we understand this? Yes or no? The logic behind this statement, that why do we say that computers can only understand binary. So again, a problem came into the picture, a new problem. And the problem was that, again, this binary number system was also not that easy for us to understand. It was again impossible, actually, right? Yes or no? Series of ones and zeros, again, very impossible. If I look at it every day, I'll go mad, right? And I expect the same with you guys, people. Yeah, if you get to see all these zeros and ones, you're going to be mad as well, right? What is happening, right? So again, it was impossible. Yeah, I'm not writing anything on the screen. That's why you're not able to see anything. Okay, I'm just trying to talk to you guys. Okay. So it was again impossible for us humans to understand zeros and ones, and we were not able to understand that, right? So what we did understand was decimal number system. So they tried to do what? They tried to create a conversion mechanism so that we can convert these decimal numbers into binary, or the alphabets or the symbols that we have on our keyboard. We could convert these into binary numbers. Okay, so these were they created a formulas or conversion methods using which these computer devices can convert the instructions that are given to these devices by us humans using English language or these symbols on our keyboard, and they can convert this into binary, and then they can finally understand, okay, this is what you're trying to say. Understood? Okay, and that gave to a rise to another concept, and that concept is of programming languages. So programming languages became a means or tool of interaction between these devices and these devices and us humans. So we humans can actually give commands, they give instructions, or give communicate with these devices using programming languages. And this programming language, all of these programming languages, not just one, not just two, all of these programming languages, they use English as a standard language, or the words that they use in programming languages are taken from English language, because English language is pretty much understood by almost every corner of the world. Yes or no? So this is what we have covered so far. I think it is clear to everyone. Yeah. So we have covered a lot of things today, right? So shall we move forward, or anybody has any doubts with all these things? Yeah. Okay. So let's just move forward. So let me take you guys back, and let me take you guys back to your school days. Okay. So can you guys remember algebra? Anyone in the class who can remember algebra? Just the idea of algebra. I don't want you to remember everything. Okay, just the idea of algebra. Okay, so what algebra was, how it used to be. I don't want you guys to remember everything. Just an idea what an algebra is. So algebra is something like this: x plus z equals to x plus y, and x equals to 10, and maybe y equals to 15, something like this, right? X square plus y square, something like this, is equals to, let's say, 20, something like this. So it used to be something like this. Yeah, can you guys remember? Linear equations, quadratic equations, all these things. Yes, absolutely correct. Just give me that. Okay, so this is what algebra look like. Yes. So let's just take this statement. Okay, so this is x equals to 10, something like this. So here what is happening is that we are creating a variable x, right? And this value 10 is actually being assigned to this variable. Now this x is acting like a container and this 10 is actually stored inside it. Something like this is happening over there. Yes, something like this used to happen, right? The idea was something like that this x, this variable is going to act like a container, and whatever we put like this inside x, that is going to be stored inside this container. And whenever I'm using x, like x plus y, something like this, z equals to x plus y, where x is equals to 10 and y is equals to 15, then this means that for x we'll have 10 and for y we'll have 5, and we'll add these two things, and this will give us 15, and then this 15 will be stored inside this new container, which is called Z. Something like this. Yes? Can you guys recall this much? So this was the very basic thing about algebra, the variable. The concept was of variables, right? This X was called a variable, and this 10 was called the value. And this value was assigned to this variable, which means this X variable was acting like a container, something like this. Can you guys recall this much? So this is something that actually happens in computer science as well. Okay, exactly like this. So what happens is that we have statements like this in computer programming languages as well. X equals to 10, something like this. So we have this in computer language. But in computer language, what does it mean is that in programming language, that this X means that there is going to be a space. Okay, there is going to be a space in memory. Okay, in memory of the computer, there is going to be a space in the memory of the computer, and this space will be named X. Okay, just like our houses, we name our houses, right? There is an address to our house, right? So just like that, this X is acting like an address to this memory space, and whatever value that we assign to this variable is actually going to be stored inside this memory space. Understood? Is it making any sense? So whatever value or whatever data that we give to a computer is actually stored inside the computer using a variable. And this is how it happens. Okay. So in the memory of a computer, a space will be occupied. Okay. And this space will be named or addressed as X. And inside this X, we can store any data that we want. Okay, so just like let's take an example. Okay, so let's say okay, so let's take an example of an app that we are using every day. Okay, I hope everybody else is using as well. Every one of you must be familiar with Instagram, right? Yes or no? We all use it every single day. I think every one of you must be using it. If you're not, you should get on Instagram then. Okay, so Instagram is an application which asks for you to sign up on it. Once you sign up on it, then only you are able to access the platform. Yes or no? So when you sign up on it, it asks you for an email address. Yes or no? It gives you a field where you need to put down an email address, right? It also asks you for a username. It wants you to choose a username for yourself by which you will be known over the Instagram, and you are then asked for a password, create a password. Yes or no? Again, a field in front of it. And you also are asked to confirm that password so that if you have made any typo, you can correct that here. And then there at the bottom, there is a button that says register or sign up, maybe something like this. Yes or no? So what is happening over here is that here in the memory of Instagram, the Instagram is somewhere over the server, over the internet. So here on the software that is called Instagram, there in the memory of Instagram, what is happening is that there is a variable, okay, with the name email. So there is a memory space, and the name for this memory space is given as email. And whatever you write over here, okay, let's say you write for her that the rate gmail.com, something like this. Okay. So whatever you write over here, this will be taken and this will be stored inside this memory space like this. So whatever data that you give to these softwares, these applications or these websites, whatever data that you give them. Okay. So this is how it is stored. So a memory, inside the memory, a memory space is occupied and it is given a name. Okay. And whatever you feed in to these input options, you whatever that you write over here, this will be stored inside these locations, inside these memory blocks. Understood what is happening behind the picture? And now computer can, since it is in the memory of computer, now the computer remembers it. It can use it whenever it wants. Understood? So this is what is happening behind the scenes. So whenever you put in any data, whenever any computer, any software or any application or any website, if it is asking you for any data, so this is what it is doing behind the scenes. It is using variables, and these variables are nothing but memory spaces in which your data will be stored. Understood? Is this clear to everyone? So this is how it works. This is how the memory of computers work. This is how they remember stuff. Whatever you give them as a data, they are able to retain it. So that's how it happens. Clear? Please note it down. Let me know in the chat once you're done. Understood, everyone? Done? Have you all noted it down? Okay. So since we are talking about memory, let's just understand memory a little bit more. Okay. So we'll be talking about memory. Okay, everyone? Okay. So what is a memory? Okay. So in memory, in computers, if I talk about memory, so I guess you guys must have heard about this thing, RAM. Or another thing is also there that is called ROM or storage. Have you guys heard it? It is there when you buy a mobile phone. Whenever you are going to buy out mobile phones, you always look out for how much RAM it has or how much storage capacity it has. Even if for laptops, if you go out for purchasing, you'll take a look at how much memory it has, how much RAM it has, and how much storage it has in terms of GBs, 500 GBs, or 1000 or 1 TB or something like that, or 250 GB, something like this. Yes or no? Are you all familiar with these terms? Yes or no? I think everybody is, right? We are all now familiar with these, with the rise of these smartphones and all. We are all familiar with these. So we know that a mobile phone that has 16 GBs and the mobile phone which has 8 GBs. Out of these two, 16 GB mobile phone is going to operate well, right? Yes or no? Do we all know all these things? Yes or no? The more the GBs of RAM it has, the smoother the device will be, or the better the mobile device will be in terms of operating functionalities, right? Yes or no? It will not lag. Yes, in terms of performance. Actually, thank you. Yes or no? So these is all memory. Both of these things are memory. So there is a difference between these two, and let's just understand what's the difference between these two. Okay, so there is RAM and there is ROM. This RAM is actually an abbreviation. That is a short form for read only random access memory. Sorry. Okay, and this ROM is also an abbreviation or a short form for read only memory. So these are two different types of memories. Okay. So this, and both of them have a different function. They both of them have a different purpose to exist. So this exists for operations. So whenever anything is happening for operations and executions. Okay. And this one is for storage only. Okay, so let's just understand what these two things mean. Okay, what is operations and execution and what is storage? Then only will we understand the purpose of these two, right? Yes or no? So let's say, let's take an example of an app. Okay, once again, on your mobile phones, I think everybody has a camera app, right? We all use it almost every single day. We take our selfies or we take photographs of something that we want to remember or not, right? Something like this. We use camera application every single day. We are all habitual of that right now. Yes or no? So what happens is that, let's just take up the example of camera. So let's say that I want to take a selfie of myself. Okay, and I want to post it over the Instagram because I am at a place which looks nice and I want to, show it off. Okay, so let's just say I want to take a selfie of myself. So what will I do? I will open up my phone. I will open the camera app. Okay, so when I am opening the when I open the phone, okay, and then what I will do is I will search for the camera app. Okay, I saw the camera icon. Okay, right now I have not tapped on it. Okay, so right now this application is there, it is stored inside my phone and it is not being used right now. Yes or no? Yes or no, people? So right now this app is there. It is that this app is stored inside my phone, but it is not being used right now. So right now this app is stored inside ROM. It is there, it is stored, it is there, it is not being used, it is going to be there, it is residing inside the ROM, the storage part. Okay. Understood by everyone? So right now it is where? It is in ROM. Now let's say I tap on it. Okay, I saw the icon and I tapped on it. Now the camera app is now activated and on the screen of my mobile phone, I can see the interface of the camera application, right? Yes or no? So now what is happening is that this camera application is now active. It is ready for operation of taking the selfie or clicking out the photograph. It is executing right now. Yes or no? So right now, maybe the entire app or some part of this camera app, which is going to be used for this execution or this operation has shifted to RAM. Understood? So whenever I open the app, any app, not just camera app, any app, whenever I open the app, that particular part of that application gets shifted to RAM. Now it is executable. Now I can take snaps and I can click photographs and selfies. Understood? So RAM is actually helping me out in operations, in executions. Okay, this is how it is happening. So let's say I want to take the photograph. So what I will do is that I will place the the phone in front of my face, and then I will tap on the click button, capture button. Yes or no? This is what I'm going to do. Yes. So when I captured, no, ROM is not getting converted to RAM. The application is shifted to the RAM. Okay, the app is going to be shifted to the RAM. RAM is not converted in RAM. ROM is not converted in RAM. The app was stored in ROM, then it will be moved to RAM so that it can get executed. And once the execution is done, it will again go back to ROM. Okay, this is how it works. Okay, so now let's go back and let's go back to what we were discussing. Okay, so let's say I have put the phone in front of my face and then I tap on the capture button. Okay, so when I tap on the capture button, at that particular moment, the phone is actually, the camera app is actually generating the photograph. Yes or no? It is capturing my whole face and everything that is there, and it is generating that image. Yes or no? So at the moment when it is generating the photograph, okay, at the moment that it is generating the photograph, this action is happening, this action is getting executed of generation. Okay, this generation is happening at that particular time. This image is in RAM. Okay, because right now it is being generated, so it is in RAM. And once it is completely done, once it is completely generated, it will be stored in ROM. Understood? And that is where you can access it using the gallery application. Making sense? Understood by everyone? So RAM is actually helping you out in execution. It is helping you out in running the application. And ROM is serving the purpose of a large warehouse where you can store anything. Okay, and when I close this camera application, it again goes back to the ROM. It stays there. The RAM gets emptied once again. So it is now free for any other application to use. Okay, so this is what happens when when you open a lot of application, your mobile phone starts getting stuck, that starts getting hanged, right? Yes or no? You must have experienced this. Maybe not lately, but around 5 years back, if you have devices, mobile devices 5 years back, they used to hang a lot, right? Right now, it's a very low frequency of getting any mobile device get hang. So this is what happens. You open a lot of applications which are now requiring a lot of RAM, and that much RAM is not available in your phone. Okay, your phone has, let's say, 8 GBs of RAM, and the applications that you are executing, that you have opened, you have not closed any application. So you are opening simultaneous applications, and all these applications sum up to more than 8 GBs. Let's say they sum up to 10 GBs. Now your RAM has an issue because it has gone beyond capacity. So it won't be able to execute. So now your mobile device will get hacked. Understood? So this is what happens behind the scenes. Okay, so it is very important for a computer system or an operating system to move the application back to ROM once it is out of use. Is it understood by everyone the difference and the purpose of RAM and ROM? Yes or no? We can take another example. Let's just take one more example. I think everybody is familiar with MS Word. Yes or no? Are you all familiar with MS Word? Okay, so let's just say I want to write down an article. So I opened Word, I created a new file, and I wrote all the articles. So right now, when I'm writing this article, it is in RAM. But when I click on that file button at the top, and then I on the drop down, I click on save as, and then I give the name, give this file a name, and then save it. So when I press that save button, it actually goes and gets saved, it gets stored in the ROM. But when I am writing it down, it is actually in RAM. Understood the difference between the two, RAM and ROM? Please note it down and let me know in the chat once you're done. And if you have any queries, please put them down in the chat so that I can help you out with that. Okay, everyone, quickly. And let's just take 1 minute of breather after that so that we can just get refreshed. You can drink water and all, and then we can proceed further. Everyone, quickly. Okay. And let me know in the chat once you guys are done. Done, everyone? Shall we move forward now? Okay. Okay, so people are mentioning a couple of things, and with that, it came into my mind. So I want all of you to understand that the entire application doesn't get shifted to RAM. Okay, okay. So the application does not get shifted to RAM. A copy of it gets shifted. Okay, the part only of the part that is going to be executed. Understood? So let's just take understand this by the MS Word. Okay. So right now what happens is that whenever you are creating a document, the MS Word application is actually performing this in RAM. Okay. So part of MS Word application that is required to create that document has actually shifted to RAM because now it wants to operate. Yes or no? And the document that it is creating, the file that is creating, a copy of it is there in RAM. We are operating, we are editing, we are making changes in that copy. And then when we say press the save button, then that copy gets saved to the original space and original file. So the original file gets replaced by this copy, the new copy that we have just created, or the edited or the updated. Understood? So this is how it happens. Yes, if we do save as or just save as well. Understood by everyone? So this was all about memory, how memory functions and what memory these RAM and ROM things are. Now you are understood. Now you can understand all these things, right? Okay, so we are back from break actually. Okay, we haven't taken anything new. So we will be moving forward now. Okay, shall we move forward now, people? Okay, so let's head back to what we were discussing. Okay, so we were here and we were discussing this variable thing. So we have understood this concept of variable, everyone, yes or no? So programming languages use variables to store data, to get information, to get data from the users. And later on, they use these variables, whatever that is stored inside these variables, which is stored in memory, actually behind the scenes, it is getting stored in memory, right? So whatever that is stored inside these variables, these programs are able to use later on whenever they want. Understood? Okay. Mhm. Okay, so now let's head back to the concept that when we were discussing the binary numbers. Okay, so I said one thing, okay, and that thing was that there are decimal numbers that we humans use every day, right? Like these. Yes or no? And these are going to go till infinity. Yes or no? And if I talk about negative side of the numbers, then I also have this -1, -2, -3, -4, -9, and this is also going to go till negative of infinity. Yes or no? So we have numbers from negative infinity to positive infinity in decimal number system. Yes or no? There are a lot of numbers, right? And we say that each of these numbers, each of these numbers have a binary equivalent? Yes or no? All of these have binary equivalent. Yes or no? So can we say that binary numbers also go from negative infinity to positive infinity? Yes or no? And since every single decimal number has an equivalent binary number system, binary equivalent, so then can we say that every single number in binary number system is already occupied by one or the other decimal number? Yes or no? Whatever binary number, let's say if I create a binary number like this, which looks something like this, then this must also be having a decimal equivalent. Yes or no? If I try to form another binary number, let's say which one looks something like this. Okay, then this one also has an equivalent in decimal number system. Yes or no? So can we say something like this? Since it is going from negative infinity to positive infinity, all the binary numbers have been occupied by these decimal numbers. Yes or no? Can we say it? Not getting responses from everyone. Come on, people. Can we say this or not? Right. So since every single binary number is already occupied by numbers, then how can we find, or how can we create a binary equivalent for this one, or maybe binary equivalent for this, or maybe binary equivalent for this? Because every single binary number is already occupied by decimal numbers, right? So how can we do that? So this thing actually gave rise to another concept, and that concept is of data type. So this A, this E, this hashtag, this number 29, this 19, this -9, this 9, all these numbers, all these things are data. Yes or no? So with this data, we have to tell computer the type of it as well. So whether it is a number, or whether it is a symbol like this, or maybe dollar sign, or maybe this one, or question mark, something like this, whether it is a symbol, or maybe whether it is a word like hello, or maybe just a symbol from English alphabet, a letter from English alphabet like A or C or X, something like this. So whatever it is, so we have to tell the computer the type of it as well. So this gave rise to another concept, which is called data types. Understood? So there are a couple of types of data types as well. So let's just look into that. Okay, so the very first one is numbers. Okay, the very first type is numbers. It is actually given as integers. Okay, and the keyword, okay, the keyword that most of the programming languages use to define an integer is int. This is used by most of the programming languages, and the example could be given something like this. Okay, so let's just say I have int, and let's just say the variable name is x, in which I'm going to store the number, and the number that I'm going to store is, let's say, 20. So what is going to happen is that in this particular statement, this is an entire complete statement. So in this particular statement, what is going to happen is that a memory space will be occupied. Okay, the name given to this memory space will be x, and this int says that only integer type of value can be stored inside it. So we have 20 over this. So this 20 is going to be stored here inside this space. So if I give any other thing, let's say if I give e, if I give e to it, so it will give out an error. Why it will give an error? Because it is defined already that this space can only have integer type of value. Understood? What is happening over here? So this is how data types actually tell the computer what type of data is there. And based on that type, these computers can actually understand whether I want to convert it as a number, or whether I want to convert it as a symbol, or whether I want to convert it as a word or a sentence. Understood? So data types helps the computer in understanding how it wants to convert the value into binary. Because if how we discussed in a couple of minutes back, that every single binary has an equivalent decimal number representation, yes or no? So if I take any binary number, it is going to be it is going to be represented as a number only. I cannot represent A as a binary then, because every single binary is already occupied. So this was the problem. So because to tackle this problem, data types came into the picture, and these data types is an additional information along with the data. It is an additional information that tells the computer what type of value is given to it. Understood? So in this statement over here, in this statement, I am telling the computer that you have to create a memory space, which will be called X. And this X memory space can only store integer type of data, which is numbers. Okay. And the number that I'm giving to you is 20. So store 20 in it. Understood? So this is what is the computer is going to understand by this statement. Yes, integers can be negative. Yes. Is this understood by everyone now? Yes or no? I want everybody to respond. There are a couple of people who said no previously and not responding in the chat now. Okay. Can any one of you please put it down in the chat what you have understood by data types and why do we actually need them? Can any one of you do that in the chat? Come on, everyone. Yeah, binary numbers are consist of zeros and ones only, and they are actually combinations of zeros and one, not just zero, not just one, combinations of zeros and ones. So this is one explanation given to us by one of the classmates. Okay, so this is what this is what he said. The data types are used to tell the system what kind of data we are going to use. So yes, something, it is actually correct to some level. Okay, so data types do tell the computer that what type of data that we are going to give it. Okay, whether it is a number or whether it is going to be a sentence or word or something like that. So this is what the role of data type is. They helps computer understand what type of value that they are going to get. Okay. Yes, data type is an additional information. Absolutely correct. And just a fact for every one of you to know that there are certain programming languages that do not have the concept of data types. There are few languages that which do not have the concepts of data types. They take every value as and they have a different mechanism of converting them into binary. Okay, but most of the languages, they have data types in them. Okay, so they give this as an additional information to the computer, and accordingly computer convert these into binary. With each binary representation, there is going to be a value, there is going to be an information associated with it, and that information tells the computer what type of data it is, whether it is a number, whether it is a string, which means a word or sentence, or whether it is a character, which means a symbol, or things like that. Understood? Only the people who have any doubt, please respond in chat. People who have any doubt, please respond in chat. If nobody has a doubt, please don't respond. Anybody who has any doubts with this concept of data types? If not, then we'll take the types of data types now. Okay, so I guess there is nothing. Okay, great. That's great. You have a doubt. Can you please put it down? Can you please put it down? No, you cannot store percentage value in int. Okay, int is for numbers only. You want me to explain data type once again? Okay. Okay. So repeating myself, people, once again. Okay, everybody, please pay attention. I want every one of you to please pay attention. Okay. So let me just move the screen a little bit. Okay. So let's just take a data or a value. Let's just take 10. So this is a data, right? Yes or no? And let's just take another data. Let's say this word. Hello. So this is also a data, right? And let's just take another example, which is this dollar symbol. So this is also a data, right? And another example would be 5.49. This is also a data, right? But these all four values are a lot different from each other, right? They are different types of values. Yes or no? Right. So the function of data types, the concept of data types is actually helpful because it helps computers understand that this is a number. Okay. And this is a word. It makes computer understand that this thing is a symbol. And they help us computer understand that this one is a number with a fraction part attached to it. So it's a floating point. Okay. We'll get into floating point values. Okay. Don't worry. Okay, so this is how computers are able to understand. The data types helps computer understand what type of data or what type of value we are giving to them. Understood? Is this clear now? Okay, so and there is one more function attached to it. Okay, so what happens is that this data type, this additional information, that this is a word, this is a number, this is a symbol. Okay, this additional information is also going to be attached to this number. Okay, this is also going to be attached to this numbers, these symbols, these words, all these values, and this additional information will help the computer. Okay, it helps the computer in choosing what method it is supposed to use to convert this into binary. So the method will be different for conversion of numbers to binary, and the method will be different for words to binary. Okay, so method is different for all these different types of values. Understood? So this helps computers to identify which particular method I have to choose to convert this value into binary, so that nothing goes wrong when I actually perform the instructions, when I follow the instructions and perform the task. Understood? So this is what is happening in case of data types. And this is what data types are actually helpful for, are used for. Yes or no? And certainly there are other benefits as well. This actually helps us in defining the memory categorization, the type of value, and a lot of other things as well. Got it? Yeah, instead of putting down question mark, can you please repeat the query if I have missed? Can you please do that? Okay, can you please explain the difference between data and data type? So this is data, and this is data type. I think it is clear to you now, right? Okay, so there are several data types. We are going to take the basic ones in the class now. Okay, so the very first type is numbers. We just discussed a few minutes back. The very first is numbers. In most of the programming language, it is called integers because it is going to cover negative numbers as well as positive numbers. So integers, and in most of the languages, it is given by the keyword int. An example would be int x equals to 10. something like this, or 20 or 30 or maybe 1000 or 1 lakh, something like that. Okay, understood? So this is the very first type. Is this understood by everyone? Okay. Second one will be floating point values. Okay, so this is usually given by float, and the keyword that is used by these programming languages is called float. Okay, and example would be float x is equals to 5.9. So these are the numbers which have fraction part in it. Okay, they will have a decimal point. We call this one decimal point. I hope you guys can remember it. Yes or no? In computer language, we call this a floating point. In decimal number system, we call this decimal point. In computer science, in programming languages, we call this point as floating point. Understood? So it has a decimal point in it and a fraction parts, fraction value also attached to it. So these are the floating point values. Understood by everyone? Okay. Have you all noted it down? Both the value, both the types? Numbers and floating point values. Okay. So the third one will be characters. Okay, so third one will be characters. So characters are nothing but symbols. Every symbol that you see on your keyboard, whether it is ABCD or capital ABCD or at the rate, exclamation, hashtag, brackets, full stop, comma, semicolon, whatever it is, or even the numbers 1, 2, 3 as well. So whatever symbols that you see on your keyboard, they all come under the category of characters. Okay, so the keyword that is used is char. Okay, and the example would be char x equals to at the rate a. Okay, and we can define one more something like this. Let's take one more example. Char y is equals to at the rate. So this is the symbol, and make sure that they are enclosed within single inverted commas. It is very important. Okay, please make a note of it. X is a variable. This x is a variable. Okay. Okay, so these characters are always enclosed within single inverted commas. Okay, people, everyone. Okay, we can take one more example. So this will be char zar equals to 6. But this time the 6 will come inside it. This 6 will be enclosed inside the single inverted comma. No, this is not a formula. Okay, this is not a formula. This is how you write in any programming language whenever you are defining a character or a float or a number. So it's a syntax. Okay. No, single inverted commas are only for character. Okay. Single inverted comma is only for character. So if I put a number symbol, this is also a symbol. Okay. Yes or no? This 6 is also a symbol. It is a number. Yes, it's definitely a number. It has a value attached to it. But if I talk about this drawing that I have made over here, just like this. So this is also a symbol. Yes or no? 6 has multiple symbols across the globe. It is also represented by this. It is also represented like this. It is represented in numerous ways in different languages. And different languages have different symbols for all the numbers. Yes or no? Right? So these are also symbols. So if I want to represent it as a symbol, I don't want to associate this symbol with its value 6. Okay, it's a number, it has a value, but if I don't want it to be associated with its value, I can use it as a character, as a symbol, just like this. And for that, I have to enclose it inside the single inverted comma. If I don't enclose it inside the single inverted comma, then it will be treated as a number. Got it? Yes or no? Okay. So if I write z equals to 6 like this, then this is a char, this is the character. But if I write z equals to 6 like this, then it is an integer, because it is now going to be used as a number. It does not have a single inverted comma around it. Understood? Okay. So the next one would be, we have next data type, and the next data type is string. Okay. So these strings are words or sentences or even paragraphs. Okay. And the keyword that is used is string. An example would be, I can say string x is equals to, let's say, my name is Parag. Okay, so this is going to be a string, and strings are enclosed in double inverted commas. Understood by everyone? So these are actually combinations of characters. These are also called combinations of characters. Clear? Is this understood by everyone? Yes or no? Okay, and there is one more, the fifth basic data type, and this one is Boolean. Okay, yes, char stores only one single symbol. Okay, char stores only one single symbol in it. And if you have more than one, then that is string. Okay, you have to use double inverted comma and define it as a string. Yes. Okay, so the next one is Boolean. Okay, and it has true false values. Okay, whether the value is true or false, the logical meaning behind true or false, the word true and false. Okay, so the keyword that is used is sometimes Boolean and also bool. In some languages it is also called bool. Okay, and the example would be Boolean x equals to true. Okay, so this time this is not the word that we are talking about. Okay, so if it was a word, it would be put as a string in double inverted commas. Right now, I'm not talking about the word true, but the meaning behind it. Okay, just like numbers, we are not talking about the symbol itself, but the value associated with it. Yes, so this time for Booleans, we are not talking about the word true, but the meaning associated with it. Understood? Yes or no? Is this clear to everyone? Boolean is supposed to be in lowercase, completely in lowercase. Please note it down, everyone, and let me know in the chat once you're done. Yes, it can also contain false, both true and false. We can have Boolean y equals to false, something like this. So this time we are not talking about the word false, but the meaning attached to it. Okay, you want me to move up? Okay, is this? Let me zoom out a little bit. Maybe you can see everything visible. The one who asked me to scroll up, or do you want me to scroll up more? More. Okay. How about this? Understood by everyone? Not able to see point 4. Can you see the point 4 now? Okay, people. So I want all of you to just go through everything that we have discussed so far in today's class. And let me know in the chat if you have any doubts. And also let me know once you're done. Okay, everybody just go ahead. Okay, so I am getting a couple of questions in the chat from a couple of people, and they are talking about other data types that are there, like lists that we have in Python. Okay, lists, tuples, dictionaries, sets, things like that. Okay, so I want all of you to understand that all these data types are actually derived from these 5 basic data types only. Okay, lists are also combinations of these data types. Tuples are also, dictionaries are also. Okay, they are advanced data types, but they are actually made from these 5 basic data types only. Okay, every other, there are a lot of data types in the programming language. Once you get into these programming languages, we'll start with Python in a couple of days, right? So once you get into Python, you'll see there are a lot of other data types as well. So what is happening over there is that all those data types are actually made using these 5 basic data types. Okay, so we need to understand the basic ones, and then I guess we will be able to understand the complex one, the advanced ones as well. Okay, so we'll be getting into all those as well. Okay, don't worry. Okay, but we'll getting into them one step at a time. Okay, right now we need to know these basic data types so that we can understand and we can create logic, the algorithm. Because in not tomorrow, but in the next Saturday's class, we'll start making algorithms. We'll start designing algorithms by ourselves. So in order to be able to design algorithms, we must understand some basic few programming concepts. And this is one concept that we need to understand. Okay. So this is what we are doing. This is what we are getting at. This is what we are trying to go. This is where we are trying to go. We will learn and understand how to create algorithms. And later on, these algorithms are actually the ones that are going to be used by you in order to create programs later on. Okay. And then these programs are going to be the ones that you are going to use to create machine learning models and all later on. Okay. So this is where we are going slowly, step by step. Yeah, list is a data structure actually. It's a complex data. It is a complex, you can say, type of data type. Okay, it is used making different. It is used by combining different data types. So that's why it's called a data structure. It actually is more inclined towards how data is going to be stored inside memory. So that's why it's called data structure. Got it? Please revise everything, everyone, and let me know the chat once you're done. Okay. And if you have any doubts, you can put down your doubts as well. I will be more than happy to help you out with that. Done. That's great. That's great. What about others? Okay, so we got a question. Will you be able to show difference between number data type as per int keyword and other is character data type with some examples? Okay, so I think there is a little bit confusion with numbers and characters because I use z equals to 6, right? So let me help you out guys with that. Okay, so let's take an example. Okay, so this is what? This is 2, right? This is a number. We know this symbol as a number. Okay, but this symbol 2 also has multiple representations. Okay, and let's say Japanese, this 2 is written something like this. And in Arabic, I think it is written something like this. Okay, so it has multiple representations. This representation is English, this representation is in Japanese, and this representation is in Arabic. Okay, but all of these are associated, all of these represent a number, okay, which is called 2. And the value associated by this 2 is this counting 1 plus 1. Okay, the counting. Every number has a value, and that value is actually a counting, right? Yes or no? So this is also 2. This is also 2. This is also 2, but just different representation. Different symbols are used to represent this value. Okay. So when I talk about only this symbol, I'm not talking about the value associated with it. Okay. When I am not talking about the value associated with it, just this drawing, this 2. Okay. And if I want to take this symbol and if I want to use this thing as a symbol only, I'm not using or utilizing or considering the value attached to it as a number, but just the symbol only. Okay. At that time, we can call this as a character. And when we call this a character, we have to put this inside a single inverted comma. So just like this 6 also has a value attached to it, which is the counting of 6. This one, 1 plus 1 plus 1, 1 plus 1 plus 1. Okay. So this 6, this counting 6 is actually the value which is associated with this symbol. Okay. This is a symbol and this is also a number. It becomes a number when this value is attached to it. Okay. This symbol becomes a number when this value gets attached to it. This counting gets attached to it. Okay. Otherwise, it's just a plain symbol, plain old symbol. Just like this. Okay. So when I talk about this question mark, so this is a symbol, but it also has a meaning attached to it. That whenever this symbol comes, then there is a question being asked. Yes or no? So it is just a symbol, but it also has a meaning attached to it. So every single symbol that you see on your keyboard, all of them have a meaning attached to them. So when we are not talking about the meaning attached to them, we are not talking about the value attached to them, then they are only considered as symbols or characters. Got it? Yes or no? So this is what characters are. This is what symbols are. I think I have cleared the confusion. Anybody in the class who has any confusion yet with this concept? No? That's great. Okay. I think everyone has gone through everything that we have discussed so far, all your notes that you have made till now so far in the class. Yes or no? And since nobody is asking anything, so I guess you don't have any questions yet, right? Yes or no? So guys, what you're doing, we need to learn full hands-on programming for becoming data scientist. Okay, so we got a question from one of the students, okay, one of our classmates, and the question is, do we need to learn full hands-on programming for becoming data scientist? Okay, so the idea is, or the answer to this one is that you don't need to become a hardcore developer. Okay, but you need to know programming. Okay, programming is a must because whatever that you will be doing as a data scientist, some programming is going to be utilized. As a data analyst, you will be using it. If you want to become a data analyst, which is different from being a data scientist, then not much of a programming will be used by you, because you will be working on tools like Excel, like Tableau, like Power BI, things like that. But if you want to be a data scientist, you must be able to, code machine learning algorithms and models. So in that, you will actually utilize some level of programming, not hardcore programming, but some level of programming, because you'll be using a lot of, packages and all that are already there. You will be utilizing them and just creating some formulas and all. Okay. So to some extent, yes, some programming is is necessary for you to learn, but not hardcore programming. You don't need to be a developer. Okay. You just need to know the tools that you are required to know, which is Python only. SQL, yeah, after this programming foundation, we are going to start with SQL. Okay. SQL helps you in interacting with databases. Those who do not have an idea, don't worry, you'll get an idea about that. Yeah, actually, we are done with today's session. We won't be taking any new topic. So if there is anybody in the class who wants to leave the session, you can leave the session now. Okay. SQL is very, very mandatory for data science, actually, because SQL actually helps you in interacting with databases, and database is a place where all the data is. Okay. So to be a data scientist, or to become, or to work in the data science field, you must be able to interact, or you must be able to, use SQL as a tool, because SQL helps you in interacting with databases. Yes, tomorrow is a class. We have a class tomorrow. Please join in at the same time. Yes, Python is a programming language that you are going to use as for data science. Okay, so I'm getting a couple of questions, and let's just take one of them one by one. Okay, so there is a question from one of the classmates, and he's asking for the difference between data analyst and business analyst. Okay, so the work area is different. The work actually that we will be doing is analysis only. Okay, both of these people are going to be working on analysis only. So data analyst is a generic field, and business analyst is going to be specifically working on the models or the data, which is actually going to help the business people out in making the business decisions. Okay, so that is what business analyst is, and that is what data analyst is. So data analyst is actually a generic field. Okay, so there is one question: is it mandatory to have a computer science knowledge or as a background in the background? So the answer to this one is no. Okay, you don't need to have a computer science background in order to become a data scientist. That is actually not a mandatory thing. Okay, you just need to focus on everything that is being taught in the classes here at Data Train, and you'll be good to go actually. Okay, and make sure that whatever you are taught, you become good at it. Okay, because industry is always looking out for good people. Okay, the good employees, the good resources, the good data scientists, the good analysts, and all. Okay, everyone wants to hire the best. Okay, so make sure that you become the best, and we are here to help you out with that. So for SQL, we'll be using MySQL, okay? The software that we are going to use is MySQL. Yes, it is very, very important to make notes during classes because that is actually going to help you out in revising everything. Otherwise, you will, forget everything eventually. So making notes is always a good practice. Okay. No, there is no specific certification for data science. Okay, so data science is not is actually a skill set. Okay, you learn how to do it. That's it. It's a skill set. There are tools out there. You learn how to use all these tools. Yes, you can leave. People who want to leave can leave. Yes, Tableau is actually part of this course, and you can choose to, choose Tableau in the elective section. Once this course is done, once 6 months are over, the core part of the curriculum is over, you'll get an option to choose electives. So you can choose electives, then so you'll get a session on how to choose which elective is good for you and all. No, Python is actually not hard. No programming language is hard. So there is a question from one of the student, and the question is that I'm not from a technical background. I don't have a computer science background. Is Python going to be hard for me? So the answer to these questions is no programming language is hard. Okay, if you go around over the internet, you don't believe me. Don't just believe my word. Just go over the internet and try to figure out and try to search whether programming is hard for people who are no from non-tech background. So you'll come up with the articles that actually programming is for every human can code. Okay, so let me just put it down simply. Okay, so you can put it down simply like this, that if you can differentiate between two different things, okay, there are two different things and you can differentiate that this is one and this is second. Okay, then you have a logical mind and you can actually program. It's with that symbol. If your mind can logically interpret two different things as two different things, then you are capable of programming. It's that easy to understand. Okay, so that is what it is. So you actually in a few classes to come up, maybe the next weekend classes, you'll understand that you are using programming in your daily life. Okay, and you are not even aware of it. I'll tell you, all these things. Okay, you are using programming every single day, every single moment in every day of your life. Okay, and you are just not aware of it, and you just need to convert what you are doing, and you just need to convert it as a program and write it down so that computer also understands it and performs all those tasks. Okay, so we use programming every single day and we are just not aware of it. In a couple of classes you'll just understand what this means. But believe me, programming is very, very easy. You just need to know how you need to do it. Okay, anything like you are not aware of how to use a smartphone, right? But once you start using it, you are aware and you can actually learn to use it, right? So it's that easy. You just need to learn how to do it. So machine learning is actually a part of data science. It helps computers actually machine to learn by itself, by interactions and data that are given to it. Yeah, whether you are from a commerce background or whatever background you are from, it's nothing to worry about. You'll get a hang of data science very easily. If you're from a finance background, I would recommend you guys to go for data analysis because that is widely used in the finance domain. But that's totally up to you if you want to be a data scientist or data analyst. Yeah. Okay, so there is one student who is saying, please answer. Can you please put down your query? Maybe I have missed it and I'm not able to find it. So there are a couple of roles, okay, like data analyst, business analyst, or you can say data scientist, associate data scientist, or maybe machine learning engineers, like this. So there are numerous job roles that are out there. Okay. Yes, ML equals to machine learning, right? If you want to learn Tableau and Power BI, then choose this as an elective subject once these 6 months of core study is over. So you will be getting Tableau and Power BI over there. Yes, you will be given proper guidance. You will be given a proper session, and based on that session, whatever that will be discussed in that session, you can choose the electives. Don't worry, we'll educate you enough so that you will be able to choose the best elective for yourself. That's completely fine if you're from an electrical engineering. That's completely fine. You can very easily switch to data science. Uh, no, I won't be providing any study material or notes. You have everything loaded in your LMS. You can just go ahead and browse it out, and you can actually go through it as well. Okay, just go through it. You have all the study material that is required already loaded in your LMS. ChatGPT is actually given to you as an additional subject. Okay, so it is not going to be part of the specialization or electives. We are going to conduct a master session for you people from one of the industry experts that is associated with us, and he is going to help you out with. Not he, it is actually a she. So she is going to help you out in understanding what ChatGPT is and what all technology drives it. Okay. Okay, so I guess I have taken all the questions. If I have missed anything, you can just put it down in the chat. Okay, so there are a couple of people who are asking again and again that I am from BA background, commerce background, non-technical background, pharmaceutical background, electrical engineering, or they don't even have an experience, things like that. So I just want all of you to understand that in Indian ecosystem, in Indian tech world, if you have a graduate, then you are eligible for a job, because most of the companies have an eligibility criteria when you at least need to have a graduation. Okay. And after that, when it comes to data science and data analysis, it is not mandatory for you to have a technical degree. Okay. If you are a BSc student, BA student, or whatever you have done, but if you have a proper skill set, okay, then and if you qualify the interview rounds, then you will be hired as a data scientist or a data analyst. Okay, so this is actually the reality of the Indian ecosystem for data scientists and data science field. Okay, so nothing to worry. Just put all the efforts in understanding and learning the techniques and everything. Okay, your job is to get the skill set. Okay, once you have the skill set, you will be hired. Don't worry about it. Okay, the only important thing is that you need to have the skill set. Doesn't matter if you are from a telecom field or telecom background. Okay, doesn't matter. Okay, you just need to hone the skill sets. If you are proficient in the skill sets, you will be hired. Believe me. Okay, this has worked for a lot of people in the past, and this is going to work for you as well. Okay, so don't worry about that. Okay, so my advice is that you people just focus right now for these 6 months when this core curriculum is being conducted, just focus on the skill sets. Just focus on the skill sets. Okay, make sure that you understand everything and you have the capacity to, yes, you can leave the session. Okay, you have the capacity to use all these skill sets and tools. Okay, the main objective must be to acquire these skill sets. Later on, you can choose what you want to do later in your life. Okay. Yes, you can find jobs in abroad as well. If you want to go abroad, there is a huge scope of data scientists in US. Okay, US and Europe, they have a huge vacancies of data scientists. So if you want to go abroad, you can go apply for abroad as well. Okay, I guess I have answered all the questions. If I have missed anything out. Okay, so you are already in London, then also it's fine. If you're already in London, then that's great. You can apply for jobs over there as well. Okay, believe me, after this 6 months, what you guys can do, okay, it's just a heads up from my side, from for everybody in the class right now. After this completing these 6 months, what you can do is, just for a trial basis, try to appear for data science roles. Okay, just try to apply by yourself. Okay, and see how the interview goes. And this will actually give you a lot of insight in actually how the industry is performing, and what actually the industry expects from you as a young data scientist. Okay, so you can do that as a practice exercise once this 6 months of curriculum is over. Okay, just go ahead and do that. Clear? So guys, this will be all, that will be all for today's session. Let's just meet up again once again in tomorrow's class, and we'll take up again from here itself. And till then, have a nice day, people. And those who are in India, it's have a great night, have a good night, and revise everything tomorrow, and come back to the tomorrow's class, and we will take forward from there. Okay, bye bye everyone.